This whole thing technically started years ago, but I feel context is needed. About 10 years ago, when I, 36 male now, married my wife, 35, we wanted to start our family right away. Life didn't really pan out. It was actually a mix between both my partner and me having fertility issues. My family tried to convince me to break up with my wife because, and I quote, "she can't carry our family name," even though I told them that it was also in part my personal infertility issues. But they just blamed my wife. To give context to that, I'm the only male born in my generation, so I was the only one that got married and passed my family name down. My family is very traditionalist, to say the least. I had cut them out of my life due to this. On to the new situation. After a lot of heartaches and going through different approaches, including IVF and every other treatment available to us, we are now parents to 2 beautiful baby boys. A set of twins, wasn't expecting that, but a welcome surprise to say the least. We also have an adopted daughter, who is now a young teen. My family didn't want anything to do with her, and such another reason why we went full no contact. Somehow my family caught wind of this. They now want to be a part of my and my children's lives. I won't let them. My dad claims they have rights as the grandparents, that it's not okay for me to not let them see the babies, to see the next generation of our family, even though they have other grandkids from my sisters. I told him outright that the kids don't even have his surname. They have my wife's surname. Yes, this was done purely out of spite, and that even I changed my name. We took on my wife's name after everything that went down 10 years ago. As you can imagine, everything blew up. I'm being called a monster, loser, petty, weirdo, traitor, idiot. Every name in the book, really. I am blocking every number and user on social media as they come in, but my family is going hard at it. My wife is standing by my choice, as they had said some awful things to her to try to get her to willingly leave me. But I just want to know, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. They are demonstrating to you exactly why they should not be part of your family. They don't earn a place in your family again by disparaging you and behaving poorly. If you let them back in, they would make it very clear to your children that only the twin boys are actually part of the family and your daughter's not. You are doing the right thing protecting your family from your family, not the idiot. And they don't have any stupid grandparents' rights without previous involvement in most places. But if you are in New York State, you should probably get yourself to a lawyer right away to make sure there's nothing they can do. New York has absolutely archaic grandparents' rights laws. Honestly, your wife is a lucky woman, having you choose her over your awful, sorry if I'm wrong, parents. I've read so many stories where the man chooses his mother over the woman he decided to marry. Not all men, obviously a lot like you, are awesome, but you are 100% in the right here. Not the idiot, and good on you for standing up for your family. Those other people need to take several seats down and back off. Also loving the fact that you changed your last name also. I get why you went no contact in the first place. You and your lovely family are way better off without them. And congrats on the baby twins. How fun. Also, I love that you took your wife's name. Even if it's out of spite, that's just great. Bet they had a whole herd of cows when they found out about that. Definitely make sure to record everything. Harassment, text, phone calls if you can, just in case. I saw a couple of people mention the grandparents' rights laws in your state. Definitely a good idea there. If the harassment continues, you may need to get restraining orders. I, 27 male, work a job that allows a very good amount of time for a lunch break. So much, in fact, that I regularly head down to a cafe. I really don't know if it's a cafe, but it's about pretty small, so yeah. And sit and have something with the time I have for the break. Keep in mind, for some reason, this place is almost always busy. It just so happened that today, a woman, early mid-20s, came inside with a baby. And it was so busy that it looked like there were only 2 open seats available, one of which happened to be the seat across from my small table. So this woman asked if she could sit at the table. The other table was under the air conditioner, so understandable. I said yes, because what harm would it have done otherwise? So a little bit goes by and her baby starts crying, so she takes out a breast and starts breastfeeding. Obviously, I'm just avoiding all eye contact. Still, it got so uncomfortable that I ended up asking if she might be able to see if she can sit at the other table. I'm just trying to sit here, drink this cup of coffee, finish reading my portfolio, and leave. The woman looked sorry and really just said she couldn't and that the baby was already feeding, I don't know. So I just downed the coffee and started to leave. A few people looked at me like I was an idiot, and it's been bothering me. I know it's a natural thing for babies and moms and that there's nothing I can do, but I wasn't going to try and force her away, so I left. Was it too much to ask if she may have sat at the other table? I don't know. I feel like I was an idiot thinking about it now, but I just didn't know what to say when a random woman is breastfeeding 3 feet away. Was I the idiot here? Yes, 1000% yes. You are the idiot. This woman probably got 2 hours of sleep last night, has a crushingly awful mix of hormones in her body. She tried to escape and do one adult thing for herself, only to have to feed her crying baby, and then you give her a hard time? I get that not everyone grows up comfortable around bodies and nudity, but bro, breastfeeding is 0% gross, and if it really bothered you, you should have moved to a less desirable spot. Everyone was looking at you weirdly because you are the idiot. Please do better next time. She deserves empathy, which was decidedly not what you gave her. But I just didn't know what to say when a random woman is breastfeeding 3 feet away. Nothing. Say nothing. I mean, do you usually say things to women giving their babies a bottle? Or do you say something to other strangers who are eating? It's just a tit. You probably had one stuffed in your mouth as a kid. Imagining OP sitting there in a panic thinking, oh God, don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. Made me snort laugh. I'm a dad of a 5-year-old, and I remember the first year or two of having long extended conversations while making eye contact with moms in our new parent group while they were breastfed. It's amazing how quickly it becomes normal. It's not gross, it's lunch. Also, why couldn't you move to the other table if you were uncomfortable instead of asking the lady with something attached to her breast to just get up and move? Jesus. My girlfriend, female 31, of 8 months asked me, male 36, a week ago how I feel about her moving in with me. She'd been dropping hints that this might be coming for the 2 weeks leading up to this, so it wasn't completely out of the blue. I told her I'd like that, but I'd feel better about it if we entered into a formal financial agreement beforehand. This is similar to a prenuptial agreement. She asked me if I was serious, and when I said I was, she went all quiet and said she had to leave before she said anything we both might regret. We were out having dinner at the time, with no restrictions where we live. We spoke on the phone the next day. Well, the crux was, she felt that I didn't care for her or trust her. I told her I did, but just felt the financial agreement would be a sensible thing. We haven't spoken directly since, as she won't pick up my calls. A few days ago, I sent her a message saying I'm still happy to talk this through. Unfortunately, I have copped a deluge of negative comments from her friends and family. Quite hurtful comments with a lot of name-calling. For context, I lost my wife and child 7 years ago, and the only silver lining, if you could call it that, was the insurance and court case that meant I could pay out my mortgage. I also have a well-paying job and I live quite comfortably. I only started dating again since the accident in the past 3 years, and this girlfriend is the first person I've wanted to have a relationship with. Note, where I live, you can legally be classified as a de facto relationship after 18 months of cohabitation. This means if we broke up after 18 months of living together, girlfriend might have some claim to my house/finances. Part of me feels like an idiot because I never meant to cause all this, yet part of me feels like it is still the right thing to do. I would be sincerely indebted for some objective feedback from people who have no emotional investment in this issue. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. The suggestion of an agreement causing this much uproar leads me to believe that the agreement is necessary. If you broke up and she became entitled to your belongings or finances, it would be unpleasant. However, it sounds like you're most concerned about the house, and rightfully so. Maybe tell her that is what you want an agreement on, and keep separate bank accounts. Exactly this. She has to move in with you, refuses to consider your point of view, then sets her flying monkeys on you, which is immature at best and manipulative at worst. Hold your ground. If you want to make a go of it, I'd suggest couples therapy before she moves in. Not the idiot for having an adult discussion before making any major decisions. This should be normal. Not the idiot. It may come off as a little insensitive to her, but I 100% understand your reasoning and do not blame you. I would do the same with any girlfriend and moving forward. If they genuinely care for you, after a good explanation of your reasons, they wouldn't deny this as a condition of moving in. Though maybe in the future, worded in some way that sounds less like a business transaction. Hey, I would really love for you to move in. I do have one thing. First, you'll have to sign saying that you won't take the house, that I have shared memories with my daughter away from me, or some such. Everybody should have a prenup. You understand that. The fact that she sees it as you not trusting her or caring for her goes to show you that she's already trying to manipulate you, and it will only get worse. I'm sorry for your loss, but know that you are not the idiot. My boyfriend and I, both late 30s males, had the prenup talk as soon as we got together, without any issues. You can do better. My boyfriend, 24, and I, 22 female, have been dating for a little over 5 months. We're both pretty private people regarding relationships and personal lives. Still, we recently decided to introduce each other to our families. So last Friday, I invited him to have dinner with my parents, siblings, nieces, and nephews. Everyone liked him and got along great together, except for my sister-in-law, 34. Throughout the entire night, she would barely say a word or even look in our direction. He complimented one of the dishes that she had cooked, and she completely ignored him. I'm not very close with her, but she's never acted this way before. Skip to Saturday morning. I wake up to a long Facebook message from my sister-in-law. She told me that she had been hurt in the past. My boyfriend's appearance resembled the person who did it. I genuinely felt bad and apologized and asked if we could meet privately and talk. She rejected my offer and told me that she had said all she needed in her previous message. I really didn't know how to reply, so I apologized again for bringing up any negative feelings from her past. I assumed that she just wanted to get that off of her chest and possibly explain her behavior the previous night, and that was going to be the end of it. Then my parents announced that they're having a family barbecue this weekend. My sister-in-law calls and tells my mom that she and my nephews aren't coming, if my boyfriend will be there. After my mom told me what was going on, I decided to go over to my brother and sister-in-law's house and talk with her. Unfortunately, it didn't go as I had hoped. She gave me the same ultimatum that she had given my mom and told me that they wouldn't be attending any future events if he would be there. I expressed that she was being unfair and that I wouldn't choose in the future. She told me that I'm being insensitive and disrespectful towards her by putting her through this, that I'm being selfish for wanting him around after she expressed how she feels, and that I'm only 22 and won't even be with him forever, so why am I choosing him over family? I was incredibly upset at this point, and I told her that it's unfair that she's punishing him and me for something that he has no control over, that she needed to get therapy and work on her personal issues instead of projecting them onto someone who has nothing to do with her past. She was furious and told me to leave. Since then, she's blocked me on everything. She's upset with my parents for refusing to take sides and for not uninviting my boyfriend and me to the barbecue. She messaged both of my younger sisters, one of them being a teen, and told them that I treated her badly and escalated the situation. My brother, her husband, wants no part of it and refuses to get involved. Am I the idiot? Honestly, I probably won't go to the barbecue, but I have no idea how to proceed. Not the idiot. I completely empathize with your sister-in-law and her situation. It must be hard to be reminded of a hurtful past. However, this is not an excuse to act like this. She's angry that people aren't forming sides and is making a huge deal by messaging your other family members, telling you that you won't be with him forever, so just give up now, essentially. You can't put your life on hold for her trauma, and she also can't put her life on hold and expect everybody to cater to her forever, as awful as that may sound. I agree. I can't imagine what sister-in-law is going through. Still, her response to being triggered cannot be to emotionally mistreat others. Forcing people to choose sides, using children as pawns, and messaging family members to spread lies is inexcusable and vile. Also, OP's brother should consider that sister-in-law's behavior isn't just going to fade with time. What if one of their kids brings home a friend or an SO that resembles her ex, Is she going to emotionally manipulate her own child? Not the idiot. Your brother is the idiot. This is for him to fix. He needs to be insisting his wife get therapy and insisting that his children not be denied extended family because someone looks like someone else. She's going no contact with the family over something that another person did, and your boyfriend just looks like him. So you also need to contact every family member, one at a time, and tell them what is truly going on so that she cannot put a wedge in the family. So to get this started, let me give some context. My sister is almost 10 years older than me. To be exact, she's about 9 years and 3 months. Our parents were still together whenever she attended college, but now they have separated. I am currently attending a university for computer science, and I have acquired scholarships, grants, and financial aid, but that doesn't necessarily cover all of my costs. I live on my own in a small apartment because living on campus was more expensive. I also work around 30 hours a week to help pay rent, utilities, and other things that I need. My sister and I haven't ever been close, mainly due to our age difference. However, we still have a relatively good relationship. Despite this, I still hold some resentment against my parents and sister for how different our college experiences are. My sister attended college years before me, but she paid nothing out of her own pocket whenever she went. My father had previously been in the military, so my parents gave her the whole GI Bill to cover her schooling cost. Her tuition, books, and even off-campus housing were completely covered. My parents gave her monthly allowances to help with covering any other bills or any wants or needs she had. So while she did work in college, she didn't have to, and she could pocket that money herself. My parents also bought her a new Mustang as a graduation gift whenever she left for college. I was never told about her being given the entire GI Bill until I applied for college. My mother told me I would have to get scholarships to cover my tuition and heavily encouraged me to go to a local community college. I was shocked and upset that they didn't think to leave any for me, and whenever I asked if they would be able to help me with expenses, they said they would try. Since then, I've received around $1,000 from my dad, and that was about it. Not that what he gave me isn't a lot, it just doesn't seem to compare to what they gave my sister. My parents and my sister both get very upset if I bring anything up regarding this situation and say that I should be grateful for what I have. I am grateful though. It's just really hard not to feel like it's unfair. So am I the idiot for feeling this way? Not the idiot. The age difference means that you would at least have been alive and born when your sister was going to college. So it's not like they paid for her college and weren't expecting you. They are the idiots in this situation. They could have divvied up the money, so you both could have had a little bit of help. This seems like favoritism in my opinion. But I agree, you should stop bringing it up since it doesn't seem like anything will come out of it except arguments and anger. But you are not the idiot for feeling your feels. Not the idiot, but I don't think many people understand how the GI Bill works. You only get 10 years after the discharge of service to use those benefits. Your sister didn't use them up, so much as those funds probably were no longer available 10 years later when you went to college. They didn't pay for your sister's college, the GI Bill did. But they also knew that their eldest daughter was getting a free ride to college because of said bill. They could have easily spent the intervening years adding money to a savings account for their younger child, since they weren't saddled with bills for their eldest's education. Instead, they spent all that money they could have put into an interest-bearing account to give the older sister an allowance during college and a Mustang when she graduated.